Okay, so now we have a good connection from the red and the gray all the way up to that Molex plug. So once again, set the meter in a DC voltage scale and check the voltage at the brushes, which again is a minimum of 2 volts. I prefer to see between 5 and 7. Same as at the brush or the Molex plug. But you remember the Molex plug was showing almost 12 volts earlier, which indicates to me an open circuit, and sure enough we found an open circuit. So now let's see what we get. Okay, so there's another place where the wire is disconnected. We're going to just go ahead and move the wiring harness out so we can actually see it clearly. Typically, if there's a load on a DC circuit, the voltage will drop. Kind of like when you turn your headlights on, your battery voltage drops. And the fact that this voltage was so high here at 10 volts instead of 5 to 7, I had suspected an open circuit somewhere. And I believe we just found it. The red wire is also unplugged from this Molex plug. Don't just look to see if somebody has bugged it though. Again, look in the ends, make sure there's no corrosion. Check in the end of this one, make sure that there's no corrosion. Go ahead and plug the connector back together. Once again, actually I'm going to go ahead and go to this end of the red and gray. Okay, we've got continuity all the way through to here. But again, we're seeing 10 volts, which tells me that there is another place where it is disconnected. I'm going to go to the brush leads again, just to check. I'm getting 0 voltage to the brushes. So obviously the brushes do have a problem. This is actually kind of an easy one. The ring terminal on the negative brush terminal is not factory Honda. Incidentally, the screws that hold the wires to the brush terminals are stainless steel, therefore non-magnetic. The friction washer is brass, therefore non-magnetic. This white wire, that's not a factory Honda wire. The factory Honda wire is disconnected. Okay. A little bit redundant. Okay. Right now I'm just going to go from the red to the white, since it's already disconnected, and measure my voltage and see if I'm getting, in this case, 10 volts all the way through to the brushes. If so, I know that I have eliminated all the wire disconnects that he's got so far. Okay, so now we're getting voltage all the way to the brushes. I'm going to go ahead and put this wire back on and see if we're good. Oops. Like I said, this screw is stainless steel. So if I drop it, I have to find it. I will not be able to pick it up with a magnet. Okay. If we see what I'd like to see, 5 to 7, it means we've got a nice rotor load. If we still see 10 volts, it means there's an open circuit somewhere beyond the brush terminals. Okay. We have another open circuit somewhere beyond the brush terminals. I'm just taking the diode loose so I can set it out of the way. That way I can get my fingers under that screw so I don't accidentally drop it. I want to set the meter on the resistance scale. Check that the meter does 0. Go from the positive brush tab to the negative brush tab. I would like to see 60 ohms plus or minus 3. I'm seeing infinite resistance. Let me go ahead and pull the brush holder out. Incidentally, the most common cause for this problem is dirt on the slip rings or dirt on the brushes. Both of which are very easy to fix and inexpensive. Okay. We've got no brushes to speak of in the generator. We get some new brushes. The brushes should stick out considerably past the brush holder. The brushes are available separately. Okay, so somebody cut the springs on the brushes so that they're overlapping. Nice, very nice. Okay, these brushes are now junk. Like I said, the most common issue is dirt on the brushes or slip rings. You can see the slip rings right in here where the flashlight is pointing. The brushes will ride against the slip rings, one slip ring against each brush. Hang on just a moment. just in case a little bit of oil was squirted on the slip rings to simulate corrosion. The way I clean the slip rings, and this is not Honda's method, is I put a piece of sandpaper against them and I hold it in place with my finger. It takes a little bit of courage, but then crank the starter over. That's the first slip ring. Now I'll do the next slip ring. Now they're nice and shiny. That's probably as good a place as any to take a break for just a moment.